Well, in today's video, I think I've already talked about this a couple times, or in a couple months back, which was in 2017. I talked about this a while ago, but I'm strictly talking to Namco Bandai this time in this video. There was a franchise that Namco Bandai made a couple years ago called Xeno Saga, and the main characters in that whole story included a hot robot chick who shoots lasers out of everywhere. Every part of her mechanical body shot lasers everywhere. What's the holdup with that series ever coming out for the PS4 or the PS3 for that matter? It's nearly been, how long has it been since I played Xeno Saga? It's been about 2000. The last one that I played was in 2000, roughly. I think it was in 2004. The last one was made for Xeno Saga 3. I believe it was. Honestly, Xeno Saga the Xeno Saga series for Namco Bandai, I'm really hoping you guys plan to remake that series, the Xeno Saga series, because that will give me an opportunity to play another RPG that hasn't been seen since the PS2 days. And knowing that Sony does not want to go backwards with backwards compatibility, that's why that series needs to be remade for the PS4. I mean, I still have my old collection of Xeno Saga 1, 2, and 3, and I played the third one twice. I played the first one twice and the second one once. Based on how short the second one was, I only played it once, and based on the level up system, how it was designed for that game, I was only interested in playing it once, and the story was kind of lackluster for the second one. But they made up for it in the third game of Xeno Saga. Xeno Saga had everything that me, as an RPG lover of RPGs ever, had everything. They had robots, they had, let's see, the whole story by itself, when it came to the first game, was so interesting to me. I was like, when I played it on the PS2, I was like, I want more. I want to play more of this game. But Namco Bandai hasn't remade or reconsidered remaking that series since the PS2. And don't forget that you're not the only company that will actually get a video like this from me, because honestly, let's see, what was it? Where's my, here it is. I'm just gonna use this as an example of a remake that needs to be... I'm gonna use this as an example for that game. for that game series. This was remade. Ninja Storm was remade before Xeno Saga. I don't understand it. I'm wondering why Namco Bandai hasn't considered remaking Xenosaga 1, Xenosaga 2, and Xenosaga 3, because that story was awesome. I would want to play that game again just to enjoy the cast of characters that I actually played as. I would have more fun playing that than honestly, I'm playing Summon Night 6 right now. I would rather play Xenosaga 1, Xenosaga 2, and Xenosaga 3 than Summon Night 6. That's how different that game is in comparison to Summon Night 6. Because I'm used to turn-based RPGs or some tactical RPGs, but I've learned how to play Summon Night 6, but it defeats the purpose of the series that I'm talking about now. Xenosaga 1 and Xenosaga 2, I averaged about, for each game, I know exactly how much I averaged on each game. For the first one, for Xenosaga 1, I averaged about 30 hours, flat. For the second one, I averaged about 15 to 20 hours, flat. And the third one, I averaged about, 40 hours, flat, for Xenosaga 3. Xenosaga 3 had everything that I expect out of Namco Bandai. Honestly, where is it? Out of every RPG that I've ever played, I liked that group of characters. I liked the fact that the female characters had a more important role and the main character was female. I mean, you got an equal part of male and female characters playing in one epic story. And I like robots too, and I miss that. I miss that very much. Hello? And honestly, Namco Bandai, where is it? It's been far too long for you guys to not re-release something when you guys re-released this. I'm a Naruto fan, but I was expecting something else to come out of their closet before I saw this, which was the Xenosaga series. Because honestly, that game, even though it's just turn-based, I love that game. I love that whole... I heart that game to the very core of my soul. Every game that I ever owned, it has a piece of my soul attached to it. If I didn't care for that game, I would just trade it in. But that game I still own. It's in a box with my PS2, my other PS2 games, but I still have all 5 games in that box. The reason why I say 5 is because the second one had 2 discs in it, I believe. Yeah. And then the third one was the best one because you got to find what the whole backstory was about about Cosmo's life. You got to find her backstory, why she is the way she is. Cosmosis was her actual name in that actual in the actual game. And honestly, I'm still waiting for that game to come out. It's been, I don't, it came, it boggles my mind that something like that from Namco Bandai hasn't come out yet. It boggles me. I'm flabbergasted that they never considered coming out with that game. And it kinda disappoints me that they haven't yet. And there's another game series from Namco Bandai and Namco, when it was just Namco back in the day. But that's for my next video. I'll do that one tomorrow, because I know of Soul Calibur 6 existence coming out as of a couple weeks ago. Soul Calibur 6 is going to exist, but I'm going to talk about that on another video. But right now, I'm talking about this game series just in general. Again, I really want Namco Bandai to re-release Xeno Saga 1, 2, and 3. And I've tried communicating that on Instagram with the community, and no response. It will either be sent somewhere else, or the message says it failed to go through. I'm like, how does that happen? How is that even possible? But still, I'm sorry about my face being cut off on the screen, on the little tiny screen, but that's why I'm showing it like this, double screened. But Xenosaga 1 and Xenosaga 2 exist in my soul like a plate of eggs with and dipped in Tabasco sauce. That's how important that game is to me, because if Xenosaga 1 and Xenosaga 2 were like a hot sauce brand, it would be this. and it would be this. That's how important that franchise is to me. Because if I'm comparing it to a 7-Eleven cup that I deeply admire, then so be it. I don't care. But I'm just telling you, Namco Bandai, you guys really need to really remake Xenosaga 1, Xenosaga 2, and Xenosaga 3 quick, because... And honestly, other companies that I'm going to mention aren't off the hook in other videos that I will talk about later. I'll do one every day for the next probably roughly 6 weeks, give or take. But who knows? Because that's the type of player I am. I'm an RPG fanatic. That's the bottom line. Because when it comes to those games, it helps me escape from my I take out stress with gaming. So that's how I decompress my feelings for that day. So for me, RPGs are like, wow, that's awesome. But who knows? Maybe when somebody's watching this, they'll send a message to Namco Bandai, because I clearly can't, because nobody is actually responded back to me on my Instagram thing. Even though I don't show my face, this is what I actually look like. If I put a picture up on Instagram, but nobody's responded back with my messages on Instagram, contemplating to remake this game, and I enjoy that game immensely. That's why I could talk about it a lot. In this video. And who knows, maybe they'll eventually remake it, but by that time I'll probably give up gaming, because I'm almost 32. I thought I was gonna give up gaming when I was in my 30s, but that's not the case. But by the time, hopefully eventually the game will come out before I'm old and gray, because it's not like Sony remakes games that often. It's not like Sony is planning to make a backwards compatibility system. That's why they have to keep remaking games. If they had backwards compatibility, they would not have to remake every single game they possibly made, or asked gaming franchises like Namco Bandai and other companies to remake their game. That's why I like backwards compatibility so much, because you didn't have to worry about focusing on the older games, because you could just play them later on. But now that the PS4 doesn't have backwards compatibility. That's why Namco Bandai, I suggest you guys remake Xeno Saga 1 and Xeno Saga 2 and Xeno Saga 3, because that was my life for a good week and a half. That's what I played all day, every day, until I was bored of it. So, I wonder when they plan to remake it, because I could sit here waiting for it, still nothing. And on that note, because I'll be prepared for another video like this for tomorrow, but as of right now, I'm gonna be working on what I've been working on for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. A game called Summon Night 6. And I'm almost done. And I've roughly averaged about 60 hours. I lost count. Based on my streams of that game, I've lost count of how many hours I've averaged in it, because 5, 18, yeah, roughly 60 hours so far. I think I'll go back, and when I do a review, I'll actually count how many hours I've actually averaged in Summon Night 6. But that's not as fun as Xenosaga 1, 2, and 3, Namco Bandai. That is not as fun as your old school system, when you had that game on the old school console on the PS2 days. That's how important that game is to me. I miss it so much. Well, I'm gonna be playing this right now. I'm on chapter 20, and I'm almost done. So I'll be leaving now and streaming this, because the sooner I get this done is the sooner I could actually play another game that is coming out pretty soon. It's Final Fantasy Dissidia. Yeah. And I have only a week and a half to finish this before that game comes out, or less than that. 6 days. So I gotta be on it. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Text to speech available here. Text to speech unavailable here.